Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
And hello and welcome to episode 164 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, talking about scale models. And this show is being brought to you by Carl Hunting, our latest Patreon supporter. You too can help support the show just like Carl by going to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per month upwards. Your contributions are greatly appreciated and just help us with our production and hosting costs. So, we've got Julian back in the country, so let's get on with the show. And hello and welcome to the show. And in the studio, I've got Ian.
G'day, Dave. G'day, everyone.
And we have our weary traveller, Julian, returning.
Yep. Yeah.
How are we, everybody?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, good.
Not bad.
What we've been doing in the last, it's been a month now since I've seen you guys.
Yeah, not a great deal besides work.
You've been busy working.
Busy working.
Man.
Bought a kit.
Oh, what'd you get? Of course you bought a kit.
Got another Edward Zero.
Oh, okay.
So that's 4 now. I've got the A6M3 Model 22.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, so now I'm just waiting for the single boxing of the roof to come out and I'll be happy.
Your collection will nearly be complete.
Yeah.
Nearly be complete.
Nearly.
And Julian, apart from your trip, which we'll talk about later in the show, because that's the theme for today, you've got, we really can't talk about what you've got because
That's part of the trip
that's part of the trip too.
Yeah. I mean, I spent the last month away, so there's not much else to say, is there?
No, there's not. Okay. Well, how about we save all that for later on in the show?
Yeah, sure.
We'll talk
Sounds
about
like
your
a
trip.
plan.
In the meantime, I have a quick correction to make. On the last show, where I was up in Nowra, I mentioned that the Meteor nose was actually made of wood, which is incorrect. The Meteor nose is actually metal. It was the vampire I was thinking of. So
it was laminated wood.
Yep, so just a little correction there. All right. Well, gents, how about we roll straight into mailbag? And
Sounds
there's
good.
quite a few there. And then we can... even the Falcon's written in, so I've got some stuff to hear from the Falcon. So, yeah. All right. First of all, we have an email from Garvin Lee. And Garvin has pointed out that when I last spoke about his name, I mispronounced it. I called him Gavin. And Garvin, I've just got to say the reason why is because I've got a really good mate whose name's Gavin, and when I see the name, I automatically... Anyway.
Right.
So Garvin heard me mention that I collect challenge coins, which I do. Is asking if I've got an album where I can show them, and unfortunately, I don't have an album.
What, you just throw them in a drawer somewhere?
No, I sort of... Well, you know what? I need to get... You can get, like, little display things to sort of put them up, and I need to do that because they're all just sitting in a pile. Most of mine come from... I'm quite eclectic in my collecting of them, but the main thing for my collection is that it either needs to be given to me by a friend or it needs to be somewhere where I've been and seen. Mm-hmm. So that's the basis for my collection. I've only got about, I think, 15 of them, so I haven't got a huge amount.
Yep.
So anyway, Garvin, I might try and get some photos of them and get them over to you so you can have a look at them. But you also mentioned there's an interesting thought. It might do an episode on research military vehicles and aircraft and how it can add to the enjoyment of modelling. That's not a bad idea, although I think we might have touched on that once before. In what inspires us to build, but certainly the research aspect of the hobby it's half the fun as well. Isn't it?
It is, yeah, definitely.
Can lead you down some very big rabbit holes.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Garvin Lee. Next one we have Mark DeRemus, who said, "I was listening to your latest episode, 163, and what a treat! What a strange treat to hear one of my favourite geeks broadcasting from Oz, but even better to hear one of my best mates in Australia get his moment in the sun. Thanks to Ray for looking after another lost American. Sounds like you guys had fun. Makes me wish I could go back to Oz and spend some quality time with fellow modelers from down under.
Yeah, you're always welcome, mate.
Well, absolutely. Mark, any time. Seattle's not that far from Australia, so just jump on that big silver bird and come across and we'll look after you.
We will.
Oh, jeez. Okay. We had Craig on the last show as well, and Craig was fantastic in driving us all around and hosting us at the different places we went to and played taxi driver, and it was really great to see him and catch up with him. And he writes into us, Dear Dave, Ian and Julian, hope you're all well. I've listened to the last episode and I'm still blown away that I was able to be part of it. The one thing I realised that when we were talking about upcoming shows, we didn't talk about the big ones coming up in Australia. So here's a list of the major ones coming up this year. And I think it's a good time to run over that list right now. So we have June the 16th and 18th, we have Model Expo 2023, which is the Victorian one down at the Sandown Racecourse in Victoria. In June, the following weekend, June 24th and 25th, there is a New South Wales Scale Model Show, which is going to be held at the Illawarra Sports Stadium in Berkeley, New South Wales. Then on the 5th and 6th of August, we have the Western Australian Scale Model Expo at the Cannington Exhibition Centre in Cannington, Western Australia. Hot on the heels of that, on the 19th and 20th of August, we have the Queensland Model Hobbies Expo, which is being held this year at Ipswich Events Centre in Ipswich, Queensland. Then, of course, we have Scale Model Expo, South Australia Scale Model Expo on the 6th and 8th of October down at the John Dunning Centre, Prince Alfred College in Kent Town, South Australia. So, unfortunately, we were planning to go to that, Ian, weren't we?
Yeah, but we're going to
It clashes with New Zealand.
Yes,
so unfortunately.
New Zealand.
Yeah, still. Anyway. And then the last big one for the year is Scale ACT Model Expo, which is going to be held on the 11th and 12th of November. And this time at a new place at Thoroughbred Park in the Australian Capital Territory. And we're getting a whole group of guys together who are all travelling up.
Yep.
So it should be fun to go
big convoy. Yep.
Go buy some cheap CBs from the toy store and talk to each other and play truckers while we're driving up the road.
Play Roo Lotto.
There you go. Craig writes, once again, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. I really had a blast. Looking forward to catching up with you all at Scale ECT and finally meeting Julian, who's going to be going with us this year.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Julian?
To be honest, I haven't thought about it.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Well, I mean, next to this, Japan trip, everything is sort of like, whatever. You know?
That's Craig Everson from Aussie Scale Models. All right. Steve Anderson writes in, hi guys, I love the show. My first intro to the Australian accent was Mad Max and the Road Warrior. Feel free to talk about oil rigs and say ka-chunk, ka-chunk, or you got to understand the basic of aerodynamics and a thing like this.
That's it.
When talking about helicopters at any time. To my question, I've always built military and sci-fi kits. I've never finished a car kit and only started one or two. Your conversation with the guys making the car kits, that's DDR, however, has rekindled my interest. What are your top 3 recommendations for a person with fair modelling skills who wants to build and finish his first car? I know the obvious, which is sit down and have some fun doing it, but what kind of things are helpful to building car models in particular? Thanks and look forward to hearing your ideas. Sincerely, Steve, time to build a car kit, Anderson from Minnesota, USA.
Julian. You're the car man.
Well, helps if you buy a car kit that you like, right? I mean, for example, I like buying all the Japanese cars, and Ian doesn't find them interesting.
No, they're boring.
Like a lot of it is really dialing in your materials. Making your metals look like metals, your leathers look like leathers. The paint job is probably it's a core part, and it's difficult in the sense of like all the spraying discipline and all that sort of stuff, and making sure all your coats are nice and smooth, and then laying the next one on. But yeah, I mean, what I think really makes a car kit look like a car is when you get the materials, like especially the sheen. Like when you get like a good, like say black color that looks like a black leather, instead of say just using semi-gloss black, which is what Tamir recommends for everything. Stuff like that.
What about choosing the actual model I mentioned? That be to get you over that finish line and complete it. Would you recommend choosing something that's easy to build, such as I know that he mentioned that he's an average model builder, but say choose a Tamir kit or something like that. You know that something is going to fall together pretty quick, or choose something that you've got a passion for. Which way would you go?
Well, I mean, like if you just want to try building a car kit first off the bat, then and you're American, then just go with a muscle car. I mean, the kits aren't anything amazing, because a lot of them are just the old
very old
AMT kits, yeah. But they're simple. They go together very quickly, and there's not much you can stuff up. Just have fun, and one thing that sort of will help and is troubleshooting the body issues.
Right.
Like, because there's always going to be like sink marks and things like that won't show up until you throw on that final gloss coat. So if you try to keep an eye out for things like that early on, then your end result will be a lot better.
There you go.
Well, that's one of the easiest way to finding low spots is when you just put a grey undercoat and then you just haze a bit of black over the top of it, give it a wet sand until you get rid of the black, and all the black will stay in all your low spots.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The areas where you're going to have to look after.
Yep.
What I'm at the point I'm at now is I'm probably going to look into scribing all of my panel lines, because a lot of kits have a really sort of because like every car body is slide molded, right?
Sure.
And they just pump these kits out, so like they're pretty vague in the door
details,
where the panel lines are between especially where your doors are. Yeah.
Right.
Usually they'll make, a lot of kits will have it so that you can take the hood off and the trunk off, and but it's always the doors and things that always look a bit sort of lackluster, especially if you get to like the old AMT kits and the like, where it's almost like it raises up just before where that panel line is.
Yep.
Yeah. Tidying all that up with sandpaper and filling all those sinkholes and things like that, they really sort of do go a long way,
There you go, some good advice. Thanks very much for that. And of course, if you want to write into us, you can simply send an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. All right, let's have a quick break to have a listen from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back with some news from the Falcon. Back very shortly.
Hi, I'm Scott, the creator and owner of the Scale Modeler Supply, Australia's largest manufacturer of hobby paints. Our premium airbrush-ready acrylic lacquer paints are designed specifically for use on plastics, with a comprehensive range covering all popular modelling subjects including military, aircraft, rail, auto, sci-fi and more. And not only that, but we also have a wide selection of essential hobby tools and now, Infinite Colour, our new range of water-based paints for miniatures. So to check out our range and to find your closest retailer, please visit our website at scalemodeler.com.au. So when quality matters, choose SMS Paints.
Okay, and we're back with some news from the Falcon. So hello, Dave, and whoever else is there today. Ian probably, but I don't know if the youngster is back yet.
He is.
Yes.
He's back.
Let's start off with aircraft news. Armour Hobby have shown sprue shots of their new 48 scale Hawker Hurricane Mark IIC, and from what we see, it looks like a thing of beauty. It is very reminiscent of recent Edward 48 scale kits, so that should tell you how good it appears to be. The kit is on pre-order at Armour. They are doing a special deal with pre-ordered kits, which will come with some extras. All pre-ordered kits come with an A4 poster of the box art. In addition to that, If you order one kit, you get a 3D printed exhaust stubs. Buy 2 kits, the exhaust stubs and 2 sets of different 3D printed cannon barrels. And if you order 3 kits, you get the exhaust stubs, cannon barrels, and 3D printed seat with seat belts.
Ooh.
The kit costs €45 each and will be sent out in early June. Check out the Armour website if you're interested. AMG have shown sprue shots for the 48 scale Westland Wasp helicopter. This was originally an SMN model project, but the owner sadly died and AMG have taken it over. The sprues have been injected, but AMG are waiting on delivery of the photo etch before they can get the kit out. They are hoping for a release in autumn. AMP Micromere are to release a 72nd scale Keldysh suborbital bomber. Going by the box art, it looks very much like a development of the German World War II what-if Sheba Vogel.
The Silverbird.
Yeah. Brent Gunner apparently in development of 48 scale LET L-13 glider. The SE Vivat glider. That's interesting. You don't see a lot of gliders, so it's good to see it coming out. Border Models will be releasing a variation of their 32nd scale Lancaster. The new kit will be the Dam Buster Lancaster. The release will probably tie in with the 80th anniversary of the Dams raid, which was only just a few days ago.
Correct.
And no need to mention the dog, which we certainly won't. Magic Factory, the people who not long ago gave you a 35th scale kit of the Iron Dome Middle Defence System, have just announced a 48 scale kit of the Vought F4U 1/2 Corsair. It's not a choice of the 1 or the 2 either. You get to do both, as there will be 2 complete kits in the box.
Oh.
Have only seen CAD renders at this stage, but they tell us that the wings can be folded. There are also parts in the sprue to do non-folded wings, which is nice. The gun bays can also be posed open, so it looks pretty good. Keep an eye out for that one. That's interesting, that one. Trumpeter have announced 48 scale Gizio Aircraft Industry Corporation JJ7 Mongol C. It's a 2-seat trainer version of the MiG-21 or JF7 if you like. Trumpeter released a kit of the Mongol B back in 2014. So this is a much more recent release. Special Hobby will release a 72nd scale kit of the Aero A12 early late version. So far, just renders and 1 marking option have been shown. Given the manufacturer, it's no surprise that the markings are for Czechoslovakia machine, which is to be released in 2023. Mac Distribution will release 2 boxings of the 72nd scale Hansa Brandenburg C1, which is a South Tyrol front and Series 169 Pieva. I guess that means something to somebody, because I certainly don't know what aircraft that is.
It's a First World War aircraft.
Oh, well, there you go. Thanks for that, Ian. AZ Model will release a 72nd scale Fiesler FI-167. You would expect this would be the old Paval kit. Pavla, beg your pardon, with injected canopy and plastic parts, replacing the resonant PE, as AZ have done several times before. But AZ says no. This is an all-new kit that has nothing to do with the Pavla offering. Did I get that right?
Pavla.
Thank you. We'll no doubt find the answer in the fullness of time. What we do know is there will be 3 boxing options. There's going to be one for the Croatian Air Force with 3 marking options, all being Croatian. Over the Balkans marking, which will have 3 different marking options, but 2 being Yugoslavia and 1 Romanian. And the last boxing is named the FI-167 Are Coming, with 3 marking options, all German, 1 appearing to be a prototype. Kinetic have announced a 48 scale Fiat G91 Gina a while back, but people noticed some problems with the CAD, so it's held back to make some changes. It appears that they are now happy with the result, as it is due for release pretty soon. They have showed CAD renders depicting a German-built G91 R/3 with twin 30mm cannons, and the kit is slated for release in summer 2023. I've always liked the look of that kit of the aircraft.
Yeah, that's a pretty aeroplane.
Yeah. AMG have shown photos of the sprues to their forthcoming 48 scale Hawker Fury. Looks to be a similar standard to their 48 scale Heart and Demon. So pretty nice given they are short run kits. At the very least, the new AMG Fury looks to be a vast improvement on the elderly Airfix and Impact kits.
Yeah, those Impact kits are freaking ancient. They're like from the 50s or something, I think.
After many years of frustration, Trumpeter are finally releasing their 32nd scale TBD-1 Devastator. The kit features a photo etch fret, rubber tyres, folding wings, and perhaps most welcome of all, masks for the canopy. There are 2 marking options. As usual, Trumpeter don't provide any info on these, but one is a pre-war yellow wing scheme, while the second is an early war scheme with blue-grey camo and the red-white stripy rudder. Hope it has all been worth the wait. Release date is August 2023. After what seemed a very long time, Clearprop's 72nd scale MiG-23 MLA Flogger G has finally been released. This first release will be an expert kit, and it will contain the kit, 2 photo etch frets, 4 decal sheets, 3 of which are just for stencils.
Whoa.
The kit allows for swept and unswept wings and positionable air brakes. Clearprop have done a fantastic job in this kit, and the wait will be well and truly worth it in this case.
Expert kit, huh?
Yeah. I'm intrigued that there's 4 decal sheets. 3 of them are just for stencils. So
yeah, they were highly stenciled.
Yeah,
those
but
aircraft.
in 72nd scale, man,
it's going to be a lot of.
I don't know how they've gone now, but I remember their earlier kits were diabolical levels of complication.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Border models have shown a couple of sprues for their 35th scale B5N Kate. The wing surfaces have shown some oil canning, which is all the rage at the moment, and the wings can be folded. Rivets look a bit overdone, says the Falcon, but you may have a different opinion. I've actually seen some of those pictures or the renderings, and it does look spectacular.
Yeah,
actually.
just a weird scale, 35th scale for aircraft for me. That's just a bit weird.
Yeah. I wonder why
It's so close to 32nd.
Why don't you go 32nd? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's an argument, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite a debate on the internet.
Oh, definitely. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, okay, so if I'm going to give my opinion on it,
Yeah, please do.
I completely understand when people who are pro 1/35th scale,
Constant scale builders, yeah.
yep, they want to see it all across the board. My view is that it's too late. That ship sailed.
Yeah.
And even if the entire industry agreed that 1/35th scale was now the scale, you could build kits for the next 20 years and you still wouldn't have gotten to 50-50 of all the kits that are out there.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, probably right there. Yeah. Interesting.
So,
All right. The Falcon continues. Barely aircraft news, but Thunder Models will be releasing a 32nd scale bomb trailer Mark II. CAD renders shows a US bomb type sitting on it, so I will tentatively guess it's a US bomb trailer.
Interesting.
Moving on to naval news. TACOM are expanding their range of 72nd scale battleship turrets with HMS Hood Mark 1 15-inch/42 gun turret B. For the pedantics out there, yes, the Hood was a battle cruiser and not a battleship, and you can stop writing your emails now. If you like your naval stuff in larger scale, then you'll be pleased to hear that Border Models are developing a 1/35th scale section of the Imperial Japanese Navy Akagi's flight deck, complete with the island. This is intended as a place to display their 1/35th scale Kate, but enterprising modelers might consider this as the first step towards building a 35th scale model of the Akagi in its entirety. I don't think so.
Yeah, that'd be a heck of a big project.
But the Akagi's island is
small.
So it geez, you can put that. The
So
possibilities.
I wonder if it's going to come with all the mattresses.
Yeah, it does.
It does come with all the mattresses.
I've seen some renderings.
All the mattresses around it.
Yeah.
You know, because a thin Fontu mattress is going to be a lot of help when a bomb explodes
yeah, a
next
couple
year.
of splinters, won't it?
There's never going to be a 135th scale Akagi.
Nah.
That's not a thing.
Nah.
Nobody's got the space for that. And even if they did, what would be the point? There'd be no point.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be the size of an actual ship.
Yeah, basically you'd use it as a canoe.
No, it'd be too big. It'd be much bigger than a canoe.
It'd be quite large, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's really, really that's not going to happen. Also, like people who are interested in building 32nd scale Kates are not going to be interested in building a ship.
Mm.
But they certainly do. They certainly do the section of the flight deck in which to model the aircraft.
Yeah, that'll look quite nice. Yeah.
Oh no! I predict so many like oversized dioramas.
All right, let's moving on. As Gary Newman once sung, cars.
All right, cars.
SMS Paints posted a picture of a test shot of DDA's soon-to-release 1/24th scale Holden HJ Sandman panel van. Woo!
Dave's happy.
SMS will be making paint that matches the original Holden colours used on the Sandman range. Don't know when the model of paint will be available. All I do know is if the vans are rocking, don't start knocking. And for all of our international listeners, the Sandman panel van was a very, very famous Holden car that was produced, and a lot of surfers used them.
Yeah, well, the Sandman was actually touted to be a vehicle for surfers.
And it was heavily modified on the inside, so people used to put, shag carpet all on the inside, and speakers and mattress in the back, and it's a real classic Aussie car.
It basically looks like a ute with a roof on it.
And what made it also appealing, a lot of people used to get big murals airbrushed on the side of it as well. So I believe the decals don't actually come with any murals or anything like that at all. So there might be some opportunities there for aftermarket guys to do some stuff.
Yeah.
So watch this space. All right, military models. Fore model, spelled Fore. Through their box art, Fore Art will be releasing a 72nd scale M109A7 Paladin self-propelled howitzer. I think this is perhaps something that is needed in 72nd scale. Ace models to release a 72nd scale Soviet ML-20 howitzer. Many are about to release another Stug G3 OS FG December 1944 to March 45 MyAg production interior kit. 5 options, all late war and quite subdued looking. Tacom are releasing a new boxing of the 72nd scale M1070 and M1000 70-ton tank transporter. Only changes seem to be new decals and a bonus winter grille cover. Tacom are re-releasing their 135th scale Panther OS FA early to mid and late kits. However, this time they will not contain the interior parts, so hopefully they will be cheaper. Border models will be releasing a 35th scale Leopard 2A6 Ukraine with the Contact 1 ERA, which is explosive reactive armour. News that got the most attention in the last few weeks was Tacom's announcement that they would release a 35th scale kit of the M29 Weasel tracked amphibious vehicle. A small number of people in the forums have been begging for one of these for years and never thought they had the chance in hell. But if you wait long enough, all sorts of things can happen, apparently. Musing Hobby have shown box art for their forthcoming 35th scale kit of the RU-251 Spa Panzer. It seems to be a Cold War... Let me say that again. Seems to be a Cold War Bundeswehr what if. Very little new stuff was announced at Shizuoka.
There
you go. Tamiya doing a 35th scale M1A1 Abrams tank Ukraine, which is interesting because I haven't even seen pictures of the M1s in Ukraine yet.
Oh, there you go.
And it's the old M1A1 with some generic Ukraine markings, apparently. So, well, there you go. They're just chucking it in the box and hoping to profit off what's happening. They are also re-releasing their M3 half-track kits, the M3, the M16, and the M21. Wow, exciting, says the Falcon. Only new thing was a 48 scale Austin K2Y Catty Heavy Ambulance, or Katie Heavy Ambulance. However, there's no box art or pricing, so we don't know how far away this release will be. Hobby Boss have shown CAD renders of the 72nd scale Panzer 38T OS-F ENF. They've also shown the box art for the forthcoming 48 scale Panther OS-F-A. Trumpeter will be releasing 72nd scale M1135 Striker NBC RV. Surely that can't mean recreation vehicle, can it? In 135th scale, we can look forward to, wait for it, a ZPRKDB 96K6 Pansteer -S1 tracked.
Whatever that is.
Wow, yeah. Roden have announced a 35th scale Vomag 8LR LKW World War II heavy truck. 2 marking options, an overall grey Eastern front example, and a DAC truck in overall sand. Looks like a beast of a thing.
Yeah, they were. They were huge.
Copper State Models are busy developing another World War I motorcycle.
Oh, cool.
The German Wanderer 1916 4 horsepower 3D printed, and it'll be available in 32nd and 35th scales.
Nice.
CSM have just shown renders of a new kit they're working on, which is a 35th scale US Marine Corps King armoured car.
Oh, they're doing it. Cool. Excellent.
So do we know what year or anything that was?
Yeah, it's First World War.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It looks a lot like the Renault one, but it's a lot smaller.
Okay. In September, Meng Models are going to be releasing a 72nd scale kit of the M1A2 Sepp Abrams with Tusk 1 and Tusk 2. And Trumpeter's August release for armour is a 35th scale Rish heavy tractor, which is the KZKT 74282. Hobby Boss armoured kits for June, 72nd scale Panzerjäger Triebelwagen 51. It's an armoured train carriage sporting 2 Panzer IV turrets. I saw this online and I thought, hey, damn, that looks cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looks very cool. Pity about the scale, 72nd, but anyway. On 135th scale is a Berg Panzer BPZ2 Buffel ARV, and there are 3 decal options, 3 PE kits, and Indie Link tracks. Das Works 116 scale SD KFZ 251/1 OSFD is coming. Haven't seen any pics of the built kit or sprues, but we are assured it will be very detailed. As well as all the detail, you will get Indie Link, workable tracks, and 4 decal options. You only have to wait until September. That's it all for now from the Falcon. Time to get back to coughing and sneezing. And thank you very much, Falcon, and we hope you recover soon and quickly.
We do.
Some more news in the modelling world. We got some news from our good friend Kevin Footer, who writes, "Hi Dave and Julian. Pleased to announce the latest release from KLP Publishing, which is building NATO's Lancer R in 48 scale. This is a 243-page ebook done by expert modeller Chuck Vojkovic.
And I'll tell you what, I used to follow a lot of his builds on what was it, the Brett Green's website. Was it Hyperscale?
Yeah.
And the guy is freaking awesome. If you're not into the Lancers or anything, just get the book anyway, because you'll just be astounded by what this guy can do. He's really, really good. So
he's actually building the Eduard 48 scale MiG-21 and converting it into a Romanian MiG-21 MF Lancer R using aftermarket set from Arcero Design.
Yes.
And with a range of other upgrade parts. Along with Chuck's tremendous build, we've also included some artwork that he adds to his build commentaries that make them so unique and entertaining to follow. And Captain Andrea.
Captain Andrea, yes.
Will be accompanying you on your journey. Yes. All this for just $16 from our website. Sing it with me, boys. Bargain.
Bargain. Yeah, the good thing about Chuck, too, is also he's a comic book artist.
Yes, that's right, yes.
Very talented man.
He is indeed. And the detail he puts into his builds is absolutely astounding.
Yeah,
and
blows my mind.
Yeah, I do too. And very entertaining as well.
Yeah.
So that's from KLP Publishing. Thanks very much for that, Kevin. And of course, I just want to reiterate the other news again from Horizon Models, their new product announcement. And I'm still buzzing from this. So they're going to be releasing a Atlas Agena later this year. So if you want some information, go to their website and have a look. But, very excited about this, to see the Atlas Agena finally coming out, and I can't wait to get my hands on a copy and start building a few of them. So it should be pretty cool.
Yes. I like little black and white checkers. Looks good.
All right, that's all the new stuff I've got. You guys?
No.
Julian, you got no new stuff?
Not really, no.
All right. Well, how about we have a very short break, and then we'll have a quick chat with Dave Lockhart to see what's happening in the US. So we'll be back very shortly.
Hey everyone, it's Chris at Inside the Armour Publications. I'd like to tell you about what I've got going on at ITA pubs right now. First, I've got a huge restock from Tetra models, including the Coyote TSV, Jackal 2 and M1278 Heavy Guns Carrier PE sets. The Akagi PE set for the 1700 Hasegawa kit is back in stock. I've got new stuff coming from Wingsy kits, including a restock of their ever popular BF109s. And also I've still got plenty of copies of Models for Ukraine Volume 2. Please do buy that if you would like to help with humanitarian aid for Ukraine. In addition, I've also got the F4, 148 and 172nd decal sets for 13th TFS at Udon Air Force Base in the late 60s, which are fantastic for your 172nd or 148 Phantoms. So head on over to InsideTheArmour.com or check out ITA discounts on eBay to find out more about these great products and how you can get your hands on them.
And welcome to the show, David Lockhart. How are you, mate?
Hey, hi guys. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good.
How's your winter going?
Well, I think that's Thursday it starts here.
Yeah, technically
Thursday
it starts.
start?
Yeah, but it's been a cold start, or cold end to autumn anyway.
Oh, yeah, definitely has
We've had some very, very chilly sort of weather, so... Listen, David, thanks very much for coming on the show. And, of course, you're here to talk about Nats that are coming up very shortly down in Texas. Tell us all about it.
Well, appreciate the opportunity. Our 2023 Nationals will begin from August 2nd to August 5th in lovely San Marcos, Texas. It's about 30 miles southeast of south of Austin, and 40 miles north of San Antonio. It ought to be a real balmy and cool weather down there in Texas the first week of August. We're really excited about it. And Len Pilhofer and his group have done an excellent job in getting organized. This show was originally going to be in 2020, but due to the pandemic, it got booted. So we're really glad to be able to reschedule it this year in San Marcos. So
terrific. And of course, San Marcos is a great place to sort of have it, because there's lots of things off on the side that people can go and have a look at. Is there not?
Absolutely, a lot of good restaurants. There's quite a bit of shopping there. So if you, I don't know about model stores, but if you want to do other shopping, there's plenty of shopping around the area. You're not too far if you want to take a day trip down to San Antonio and see the Alamo. And, of course, Austin is quite a vibrant city as well. So it's a great place to have a Nationals, and we're looking forward to it.
Now, incredibly, the accommodation sold out within the first 24 hours, and that was the accommodation that was directly attached to where the show's being held itself. So for those people who are still yet to decide or even book their accommodation, I'm assuming there's lots of accommodation still around there?
Yes, we've added a number of hotels. So just go on the website at nats2023.com and look up hotels and lodging and see if you can find a local hotel around there. What happens a lot of times is folks will reserve a room into the main hotel, and then at the last minute they'll cancel. So it certainly doesn't hurt to call the hotel on a frequent basis to see if there are any rooms available.
Oh, that's a clever idea.
Very
yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Well, of course, we were all at the last Nats at Omaha, and we had a really fantastic time. You guys expecting the show to be even bigger than Omaha?
Yes. Every year it's trying to be bigger and better. So far, we've got 677 people that have registered. And registration will end online June 30th. We also get a number of walk-ins, so we're always looking forward to that. We have 300 vendor tables sold, 147 vendors.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be crazy. And our gold vendor sponsor this year is going to be Tamiya, and they're going to get 18 tables, so we're really excited about them being there.
18 tables they're going to have there. Geez, they're going to have some interesting stuff to for sale there and for display.
Yeah, it ought to be interesting because I know they just had the big show up in Japan.
Yeah.
Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah.
And last year they weren't too much of a presence of the year before, but I think now that the restrictions are lifted from traveling overseas, I think they're going to go in quite big.
Wow. Now, when we were there, it turned out, because normally the show runs, and correct me if I'm wrong, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sort of pack up and go home. But there's a heck of a lot also going on the Wednesday if you're sort of getting there the day early, where people sort of coming in and meeting and chatting and going off to a local pub and having a drink.
Usually Wednesday is kind of not a very busy day. Historically, it doesn't start till about noon. And the vendors come in, or they come in early Tuesday or Tuesday. But last year it was very busy on Wednesday, which is a good sign that it's going to be a great meeting. So we expect that trend to be continuing. And it goes from basically Wednesday noon until Saturday at the awards banquet. And then Sunday, depending upon, the condition of folks, they can get up early and get flights or get it later. But it's a good Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and half a day Wednesday of events.
Yeah, it sure is. What are they? Have you got some keynote speakers there, or some people who are actually doing some like a little conference or something like that?
Yeah, we have 17 seminars. I wish I had printed that out, but I don't know. But we got 3 main workshops. One by Grex, and they always put on a terrific airbrush show. Seminar, and they have one every day. I think it's about 6 hours or so. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we have Rick Lawler, who's going to be doing a seminar, and also Andrea Miniatures is going to be doing a big seminar.
Oh wow!
So we're excited about that. Cool. So we've got some excellent seminars and excellent workshops, and we're excited about that. We also have a couple of tours. One is to the Lewis Air Museum, which is not too far. It's got some great planes, and of course Fredericksburg, Texas, which is the Museum of the Pacific War, and that was Admiral Nimitz's home. So that's why you have a Pacific Museum in the middle of Texas.
It's an unusual spot for it.
But it's a superb museum. So I recommend, if anyone's going to be out there, if they don't want to miss the meeting, go out there a day early or a day later, but don't miss that museum.
Yep.
Yeah, and certainly our experience in traveling around the US is that you guys really do museums well. So based on your recommendation, I'd say to everybody, don't pass up the opportunity to go and have a look at that out at Fredericksburg.
Yeah, we've already sold out on our tours, so those are sold out.
Oh, okay.
So I would recommend, if anybody else wants to go on one, to go by themselves if they got a car or something like that.
Sure.
And you never know, there may be some last minute cancellations, so please check at the registration desk.
Yep. So for those people who are still undecided or last minute, you can buy tickets at the door to get into the show if you wish to do so.
Absolutely. We get quite a few walk-ins, and just a reminder to people that if you want to put a model in the contest, you need to be an IPMS USA member.
Yep.
We have about 2,100 models in our contest, an average, and we have 287 judges. So it's a busy process to judge, 2,100 models.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
It would be impossible to, do the AMPS process or some other ones, but we're looking at upgrading our judging in the future, and hopefully to make it easier for the judges and better for the contestants.
Well, we'll stand by to hear more news about that in the future. That sounds like an exciting development. So it'll certainly be welcomed by the judges for sure, and no doubt by the contestants as well. We were just blown away with Omaha, how well organised it all was and seamless from a participant's point of view, where you just walked in, because we'd pre-registered, so we're a little bit smarter, I guess, than the average Yogi Bear. And you just walked up to the desk, said your name, you got all your swag, put the model in, and it was just seamless. It was so well run for such a large show. We were very, very impressed.
Yeah, and it's getting better every year. We've got a committee organized within our board that's going to be helping local chapters that want to run a national. And we've got a great new registration system that Mike Oberholzer, our treasurer, got on board and has been managing. And we've got a new manager of that. Her name's Nancy Hackney. Her husband Scott was the chairperson for last year's in Omaha. But you can register online and get everything all set. You can just walk in the door, give your name, like you said, get your ticket, get your swag, and start. Main thing most guys do is the first thing they do is go to the vendor room and spend all their money on models.
Yes. Yes. We all fell off.
It's just amazing how much people buy at those shows.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I know.
Yes, we know. Having been there, we know.
having to buy an extra suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Last year I was standing in line at the Edward booth because they had come out with the new Wildcat.
Yes.
And I really wanted to get one because every year I have Vlad, who's the president of Edwards, sign my box. But there was a young, I call him a kid because I'm an old guy, but he's younger than my son. He was in his 20s, and he pulled out a wad of cash, and I said, "Oh my God!" He goes, "I bring $2,000 a year to the show, so I plan to spend every penny."
Wow!
Holy
smokes!
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
But then you got to find places to store them all when you get home.
You do. And I guess if you're traveling by car, it makes it a lot easier. Because Ian and I had the experience recently, David. We went up to Canberra show last year. And between all the recording equipment and all the models that we brought up there, the car was packed to the gunnels. And coming home, I reckon it was probably sitting on its springs.
That was, yeah. Yes.
I used to use the excuse every year with my wife that if I brought a model home, I said I won it in a raffle. And then I would actually tape a ticket that was no good on a model I bought. She's not convinced.
I like the way you think.
Oh, that's very clever.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say Lynn Pillhofer, who's the chairman, has done a superb job, and they got a great team down there. So we're all very excited about this year's nationals.
Well, I'm hoping to get up to Madison next year. Fingers crossed. Although we're talking about maybe squeezing in a Japan trip, which might be even later than that. So I don't know. We're going to see what's going on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be at Madison next year. But who knows the way things change.
Yeah. Well, we're very excited about Madison. We've got some new info coming out very soon. It's a terrific city. It's a very vibrant city. It's on the lake. and it'll be a great nationals, and we're really excited about Jeff Hearn and his Mad City Modelers being able to put that show on.
And Madison's close to the border up in Canada, so you can bring all the Canadians down as well for that one.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of Canadians down there too. Yeah. So, and it's not too far from Chicago, so it's only a 2-hour drive from Chicago, which is again another great city if you haven't been to.
And a big modelling scene in Chicago as well. Huge modelling scene.
Yeah. It's going to draw a lot of people next year. So, but we don't want to put as they say, the cart before the horse.
That's right.
We're going to get our San Marcos Nationals going, and very excited about that. And then. Take a couple of weeks off, recuperate, and begin all again.
That's it.
David, thanks very much. But first of all, before we go, on a personal note, we've got a huge thank you to you for that wonderful little stuff that you sent through in the mail to us.
Yes, thank you very much, Dave.
Which was some sand from Omaha Beach.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah,
definitely.
Yes, thank you.
I remember going down on the beach with a big plastic bag collecting a bunch of sand, and I says, I just hope I can get this through customs, but it managed to go through. Okay.
Well, it's funny you should say about going through customs, because when it arrived here in Australia, I noticed that it had the biosecurity tag on it. So it had been tripped at border control, and they'd opened it up and gone through with a fine tooth comb before rewrapping it and sending it onto us. So I had a bit of a chuckle, and of course the challenge coin as well, because that was just the icing on the cake.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah, so both of those things are taking pride of place in my modelling room at the moment.
Well, I knew you and Julian weren't going to be there, so I want to make sure you got one. And Ian he'll get another one when he's up there, but he can barter that when he gets back to Australia.
That's it. That's it.
No worries at all. Dave, thanks very much for being on the show. Thanks for spruiking and letting everybody know about Nationals down in San Marcos. And again, what's the website to go to if people want further information?
It's nats2023.com. So by all means, check it out, and you'll find a lot about the seminars and the vendors and all that sort of stuff. So again, if you got any additional information, there's plenty of contact info on that, and we look forward to seeing as many people as we can.
And of course, you can always go to the main IPMS US page as well, and that will lead you there as well.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, no worries. Mr. Dave Lockhart, National President for IPMS USA, thank you very much for being on the show.
All right, guys. I enjoyed being here, and good seeing you, and look forward to catching up later.
Will do, mate.
No worries. Cheers, mate.
See you, buddy.
All right. Cheers.
Whether you build aircraft, armour, ships, science fiction, cars or figures, the Fine Scale Modeller magazine provides the how-to information you need to take your modelling to the next level. In each issue of Fine Scale Modeller, you'll find clear how-to features on model assembly and finishing written by experts, reviews of the hottest model kits and products, tips and techniques for assembling, painting and finishing, as well as inspiring photos of readers' models. To find out how you can get your copy of Fine Scale Modeller, go to www.finescale.com. All right, so now we turn our attention to our wandering compatriot, Julian. And back from your travels to Japan and Korea.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't spend much time in Korea. I was only there for a couple of days and didn't see a whole lot.
Well, that's a couple more days than I've ever spent in Korea, so I'm still pretty keen to hear about any shops you went to there. But let's start with Japan. So tell us where you went to, what you saw, what you did, all the rest of it. It's the floor's yours.
Flew into Narita Airport and, got a taxi to my hotel, and then after that it was like meeting up with...
Hotel, don't you mean shoebox?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it'll catch you by surprise because it's like a third the size of a regular hotel room.
I'd have trouble fitting in their rooms.
Look, put it this way: like if in most of those bathrooms, you have to someone like my size or your size would have to step out of the bathroom to dry off.
They're that small.
Yeah.
So as big as this studio, the room?
No, it'd be a bit bigger, but not by much.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Basically, like if you can imagine, like the foot and the head of the bed touching the walls on the left and right side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is small.
But still, I mean, you're only sleeping there, aren't you? I mean,
that's right.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm 6 foot, right? And that's a reasonably, unless you're like some great big tall guy, you shouldn't have any problem sleeping in those sort of beds. I mean, I didn't. But like there wasn't exactly in this particular hotel, because there is some variation. Some are a little bit bigger than others, because I stayed at a few different hotels over the course of my trip. All of them have the same sort of bathroom setup, where it's like this thing that's designed to be it looks like a whole like self-contained unit that they just throw in there, and it's designed to be like hosed out.
Sure, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's almost like that.
Yeah,
industrial.
Yeah, but it's got the fancy toilet. Their toilet technology is on a. Their toilet technology is on a completely different level. Coming back to Western country, it's really like.
I gotta say, I am a fan of the bidets. There's nothing
it's more than that.
There's nothing like a nice sort of gentle trickle of warm water on your quit and a nice sort of fan sort of drying it afterwards.
Okay.
Look,
no worries, mate.
Let me put it this way, right? I mean, that's a very graphic description.
Can I just tell you a very funny story about a bidet? So, Michelle and I arrive in Paris. This is our most recent trip,
right?
And so I'm loading all the luggage in. She goes straight to the toilet. She goes, "What's all with buttons on this toilet?" And she pushes one of the buttons. And of course, the lid's up, and this big shot of water comes screaming. She's going, I hear this, Dave! I said, "Put the lid down! Put the lid down!" It was funny. You had to be there.
You're right. I mean, it's designed to be used when you're sitting on it, right?
I know. Well, tell Michelle, not me. I understand this.
Right. So the thing is, the best part is that it would not matter how cold the weather is, or if it's in the middle of the night or whatever. You sit down on that toilet and it's warm.
Yes.
That's another level, right?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Because in this cold weather, coming back to Melbourne,
yes.
right? Like, if I have to go to the toilet in the middle, it's like, oh, you know what? I think I can put up with this.
I so hear you, Julian. I really do.
Because it'll give you a fright when you sit down.
I know it does. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, none of that.
No.
The only problem is, like, in some places, like say you were in a department store and you need to use the bathroom and they've got a bathroom, right? It might be really cramped in there. Like, your knees might touch the wall in front of you. You know.
All right. Okay.
It's a bit strange, like when you go to the toilet and it's like sideways, like it's not facing towards you. You know. Yeah, it's a bit. But it's really nice how like you can go almost anywhere and you'll find one of those toilets. Yeah, it's fantastic, and people don't make a mess of things. It's usually pretty clean in there.
Yeah, I heard Japan's a very clean country.
Yeah. To be honest, like I think people take it a little too far, because Melbourne's pretty clean.
Yeah.
And it's not like I didn't find areas that were didn't have rubbish and stuff on the side of the road in Japan. That happens. That was mostly like sort of more off the beaten track parts of Osaka.
Yep.
That I saw. Anyway, because I need to get this beyond the bathroom. Right?
Yeah, let's get past the toilets. As much as I want to linger on it, let's get past it. It is a modelling podcast after all.
So even though it's like some of the hotels I went to, they had like a free breakfast. I basically went in there on the first time it was sort of offered, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. I'm just gonna leave. Most of my breakfasts I got at the local convenience store. So there's like 3 convenience stores in Japan, like 3 different chains.
Yep.
And they all have like different pros and cons and things, like some are better at drinks, some of them are better at this or that. And I would just go there and get my bread and coffee in the morning. I was pretty disappointed with the coffee.
I bet to say, what's your coffee like?
I was pretty disappointed with the coffee.
Okay.
Look, I mean, look.
I think it's something Japan's well known for.
The good thing about Japan is like it's got all those vending machines everywhere. Everywhere you go.
Yep.
Right. You can afford to like walk past vending machines. Go, it doesn't have what I want. Just keep walking. You'll find what you want eventually. Yeah. And they're so cheap.
Yeah.
They're so cheap. But like you as far as like actual coffees go, like the way we're used to in like in those paper cups with the lid on the top and everything, yeah, it's pretty underwhelming.
Okay.
And it's a bit better if you look in the window and you can see the proper coffee machine. You know, the one that's all chrome and everything like that. Not those black plastic units they have in Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's a bit better for those, yeah.
But isn't there a great big coffee place somewhere in Tokyo that's got like...
You're talking about the Starbucks Special Reserve.
Oh, yeah.
I went to that place, yeah.
And
it's an amazing place. The coffee I felt was very underwhelming.
Oh.
Right? But there are other parts, like there was like a bakery in the back, and that had pizza and all kinds of bread and stuff, and the pizza was amazing.
Yeah, okay.
Because generally speaking, cheese in Japan sucks.
Yeah.
They suck at doing cheese. Apparently it's to do with their laws and like taxes and stuff like that, and it's just really expensive to make half decent cheese, so all the cheese sucks.
Okay.
Yeah. Avoid anything with cheese in it. That's my recommendation.
Well, if you're hanging out for brekkie, you could always go to Macca's, couldn't you? And just get a breakfast.
There's not that many Macca's over there. They're not
seriously.
They're there, right? They're there, but they're not as numerous as, say, here.
Okay.
Right. Especially since you're walking everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Walking
But
and
seriously,
taking a
who
train
wants to
everywhere.
get battered octopus for breakfast?
Not me. But like, so what I would do is I would just go to the convenience store and just grab like a butter roll, and
something to put in there.
and a coffee. And that's the thing, right? Like you in the vending in the convenience store, you can get hot drinks out of the fridge.
Yeah.
What do you mean out of
Kind
the
of
fridge?
thing. No, it's not. It looks like a fridge, but it's basically just like
Right.
an open shelf type thing that's all heated.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of the vending machines are heated as well.
Oh, all right. Yep.
There are even some vending machines. It's got cameras on the inside, and it makes your coffee, and you can watch it on the TV screen.
Very cool.
Oh,
It's interesting.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so as far as the hobby shops go, I went to like all the classic ones that everyone says you should go to. You know, like I went to Volks. Volks is it's a cool store, and I definitely spent a fair bit of money in there. Considering I didn't spend all that much, I wasn't like doing like you guys did when you went to the States, where you're just filling up suitcases and things like that. Because my mindset as a modeler was like, there's no point in me buying anything here that I can't get back home.
Yeah,
right.
Except it's cheaper, maybe there.
Yeah, it's cheaper, but it's not enough. Like on kits specifically, it's not worth it. Like all those Tamiya kits, you can buy Tamiya kits everywhere in the world, right? I mean, Hasegawa kits, if they had something I really needed and really wanted, and it's really hard to get a hold of, I would. But
so step back to Volks. So what was Volks raison détente?
Yeah, so Volks is in Akihabara.
Yep.
Right. That's the classic sort of nerd zone.
Cool.
That everyone goes to. So it's all like all anime, all kinds of visual media, toys and things, and card games and hobbies and all that sort of stuff. Is video games. All that stuff is in Akihabara in big amounts in like a fairly small block.
Right.
A couple of blocks or whatever you want to call it. That's where Volks is. And Volks is the one that everyone says, oh, you need to go to Volks. Saying, yeah, I went to Volks. And when you go in there, there's not much in the way of kits. There's like a small stand in the front as soon as you get up to the level that's dedicated to our sort of stuff. That's dedicated to Zuke Mirror.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Well, I think they've got like some kind of a somewhat partnership with Volks.
Sure.
Because that stand has been there forever. And it's the only kits you'll find in Volks. Most of Volks is all tools and supply type products.
Nothing wrong with that.
And there's like some resin figures at in one part of it as well. But the sheer amount of range is crazy. I also went to the Volks in Osaka, which is supposed to be their what do you call it, flagship store.
Right.
And that did have kits in it, though I wouldn't say it was an amazing amount.
But just to go to a shop or a hobby store that, mainly is just there for all the tools and everything, I mean... surely that must have,
Yeah, I didn't
mind
buy...
blown sort of...
So I bought... So the things that I bought when I was over there, I bought an airbrush. I forgot which one this one is, but it's a Mr. Hobby one with the little fan attachment on the front.
And the trigger one.
And
as well.
and the trigger, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's like PS 265 or some crap like that.
Right.
235, one of those. Wait, it's written on it, so let me read this. So it's 290,
There you
PS
go.
290, right? I don't necessarily plan on using the fan attachment. We'll see how we go. Because according to Mr. Budzik, it's not genuine, like as far as like actual fan attachments go. But it might be good enough. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, as long as you're throwing enough paint at the surface, it's fine. I didn't buy that in Volks. I bought that in Yodobashi Camera. So Yodobashi Camera is like this massive electronics store that also sells model kits.
Yep.
And lots of them. I also bought these God Hand chisels there. So it's a little small set of like 5 chisels.
Yep.
I bought that for, I think, $30, $29.
Well, that's pretty reasonable for that.
That is reasonable.
Yeah, because I think, remember, God Hand came out here for Model Expo one year. And
I did not go anywhere near
everyone
that 'cause the price-
was sort of like, was like, oh, this is new. And these guys came all the way out here. And then they looked at the price and went, oh.
Yeah.
These chisel blades that you're showing with the God Hand looks like they're supposed to slot into a particular like handle or something.
Yes, so the way they do it in Japan at least is that there's 2 different sort of like colleted handle types, and there's like a wide one. There's like, I think it's like 3 mil and there's like 2 mil or something like that.
Yep.
And they'll usually tell you which one it is on it. So like this one, as it says, it's like 3 mil. It's written on the bottom there.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So they're like 3 mil shafts that will go into the colleted handle. The other thing, so I bought those chisels and I bought the airbrush for $115.
Yeah. Wow.
So the airbrush was $115, which is ridiculously cheap
Yeah,
for an
yeah,
airbrush,
yeah.
right? Especially one that's like as good a quality as this. It's really crazy. Yodobashi Camera has lots and lots of kits, but it also has like all kinds of electronics. I went in there and I went to buy some of those wireless bud earphones.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I was in there because I was looking for a specific brand. I was in there for an hour on that one level because the sheer amount of range is incredible. Like hundreds. They're just rows and rows and rows and rows and rows. It was, I can't, and it goes all the way from like your cheap and nasty all the way up to like, say, like $10,000 headphones, you know?
God.
Must be decent price headphones for that money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because like they can't. There's like audio files are the music version of us.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
then those guys have got deep pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought those, and then in Volks I bought these Funtech FUNTEC Funtech scribes, right?
Yep.
And they also run on those 3 mil shafts.
Right.
So you put it in a handle. And they were really expensive. So in that set there's 10.
Yep.
You buy them individually, and there's one you can buy which is the 0.15, the blue one, and
Yep.
that comes in that holder
Right.
that can hold 10.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm gonna buy that and I'm gonna fill it up, right? And each one of those things costs $20.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's like $200 worth there.
Wow.
But I figured, I'm here. I've never seen these anywhere before. I've never heard them talked about, and they will never ever be beaten for quality, right? So why not?
No, no, yeah.
Because other than this, I didn't actually buy that much stuff. I bought 2 kits. One of them, I went to like a place that sort of specializes in sort of like second-hand kind of kits that have never been built, never been touched. And I've found an out-of-production Tamiya kit that I wanted, which is the Tamiya Alfa Romeo Juliet or something like that. I forgot which kit it was, but it's an out-of-production car kit,
Right.
Italian car, and we're going to be doing Italian things in the next year, right?
Sure, for a club build. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other kit that I got was the special edition version of Hasegawa's Lamborghini Miura, which I'm actually not that big a fan of as a car. It's an alright car, like there's history
But you
behind
bought it anyway.
Huh?
But you bought the kit anyway.
Yes. Well, I bought the kit because it's I've seen it built up, and I saw a specific car that I wanted to build.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a really nice color. I've never seen one in that color before, and it's like this really particular green shade of metallic green. I was like, I want to build that, and you could build it out of this kit, and it was even on the cover of the kit.
Because the Miuras were usually in orange, weren't they?
A lot of them are,
Yeah.
but I mean, like they come in other colors, like yellow and red and blue and
Yeah, but the most common
else.
colour to my knowledge was orange.
It's a very yellow orange, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just out of curiosity, your hotel choice for Tokyo was based on its location?
Availability and location.
Oh, availability. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, like, remember, I was sort of going in on the tail end of cherry blossom season, which is when
Right.
everyone goes there,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So I had to sort of, and with how sort of rushed it was, like, I didn't book it very far out. It's like I booked it a year in advance or something
Yep,
like that, and
yep.
I just sort of was like, 2 months from now I'll go,
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of thing.
And getting across Tokyo itself, how did you find that, and what was your best mode of transport?
Oh, moving around Tokyo.
Yeah.
Oh, train by
Okay.
far. Don't even bother. Like it's look.
Their
Taxi.
train service is pretty good, though, isn't it?
Yeah, like Tokyo's a big place, so if you want to get any kind of distance, you need to do it on the cheap because the taxis will get too expensive. It'll be if you don't have a hotel booked that has like a taxi pickup from the airport, you're looking at $200 just to get from Narita Airport into Tokyo.
Wow.
I'm not going to pay that. I was like, even if you were like doing it on the cheap, you would just find one of those hotels and just stay there one night just so that you can snag that free taxi ride.
Free taxi ride?
It's not, well, it's like it's not free, like it's rolled into like the package, the package for your hotel room, right? So, but like you could stay at the hotel for like say $150 or something like that or whatever it is, right? And that's automatically cheaper than your $200 taxi ride, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a 50% off and you get a free night's accommodation.
All right, so then how did you get down to the show?
I have friends there,
Right.
And he has an interest in hobby type stuff as well. And what happens is he was like, that's at the tail end of the trip. So
okay.
So what happened was I flew into Tokyo. I was there for a week. Then we went up to Ebisu Circuit for Drift Matsuri.
Oh yeah.
And I watched the race,
Yeah.
them drift the race cars and stuff around there. It's all plenty of YouTubers have covered that whole thing. You won't find me in any of the background videos. And then I still went back to Tokyo for a week, and then we went down to Osaka for I think 4 or 5 days. Very touristy sort of place. People are more chill and approachable and things like that there. And, even though Volks and a lot of other hobby stuff is supposed to be stronger there, I found it to be kind of like just stay in Tokyo if you want to see that stuff. There's no need to go down to Osaka.
Okay.
Go down to Osaka if you want to go down to Osaka for Osaka's sake. Right?
Yeah.
And then we basically got back to Tokyo and then back out to Shizuoka because we would have stopped by Shizuoka on the way back to Tokyo, but there was no accommodation.
Yeah.
None. The whole place sells out.
Right.
So if you want to go to Shizuoka, you're going to have to book it as soon as it's announced. And they only announce it like a month away from when it actually goes on.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, who does that?
I don't know.
They do.
Well, this is some underground network that we're not plugged into.
Oh, that or they do it at the same time every year, so they just assume everyone knows when it's going to be on.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either because I'm not
So you didn't actually stay in the town, then you had to sort of
in Shizuoka.
Yeah.
No. And look, it was an amazing show, and like you go there, and like everyone's shoulder to shoulder because it's like the biggest show there is, right?
So what days were you there? Because
I was only there for 1 day.
It's a 5-day show, so the first 2 days are trade.
Yeah,
The third day, I think it's like little school kids or something going in and having a look around.
something like that.
And then the 4th and 5th day are public.
Yeah. So the thing about hobby shows in Japan is that they include more than just what we do. It includes all the RC stuff. And there's multiple types of RC stuff. So there's like RC drift, there's RC racing, there's RC jumping, like buggies over like obstacles and things. And then there's the kind where they got like, excavators and crap. There's so many different like facets of that. And then it also includes airsoft rifles.
Oh,
right. So it's really you'll be at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. You'll turn a corner and it's like this looks like a gun show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've even got like a range set up so that you can try out their new rifle.
Cool.
It's kind of bizarre, and like
so it's not just plastic models. It encompasses a wide range of hobbies.
Yeah, and so like when I went to the hobby show, it was raining, and there is no parking near the venue, none. So we had to park at the train station, and the train station is like a 1.4 kilometer walk from the venue. Right?
Wow.
So yeah, consider that. So if you're going to go to the Shizuoka show, I mean, it really helps if you can sort of plan ahead and get some accommodation there. Maybe even if you only go for one day, get a hotel for that one night, so you don't have to deal with this because it'll be a reasonable walk.
Given the size of the show, because I mean there was something like over 50 model clubs or something had displays there.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to get around and have a look at our side of the hobby and the manufacturers and that?
Yeah. So there's two main halls. One of them's the vendor hall, and one of them's got a little bit of vendor and like all the hobby, all the sort of clubs and things.
Right.
And and then there's like a few other like sort of minor halls that they've set up in smaller rooms and things where there's like smaller like hobby club, clubs and things like that there. Yep. And you saw the full range of things. There was some really, really crazy sort of like, I didn't bother taking any photos because everyone's like uploaded better photos than me,
sure.
Of all that sort of stuff. And they wouldn't, like, there was a lot of like Gundams. There was a lot of like aircraft, Japanese aircraft, American aircraft, armor. There's lots of everything basically. There was even like guys who specialized in painting the remote control drift cars.
Yeah.
Because with those car bodies, they're like punched out as like out of I think it's Lexan.
Yep.
And it's like one piece, and so you got to like cut it out like you would a
vac form.
like a vac form, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then glue on the front and rear parts that are also punched out of the same piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to paint the inside of it.
That's right, because they're clear.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have to use specific paints that are not our paints. Because if you do, it'll just flake off on the inside whenever you hit something.
I think, in fact, SMS paints, they have a specific paint range to suit that. The diamond... Gee, Scott's going to kill me now because I'm talking about it. I can't even think about it.
It's not our realm of knowledge.
No, but Scott did have a range of paints, or indeed that protectors that go over it, like the 2K diamond or something. It's just ringing the bell, and it's designed specifically for that because of the flexibility, and because when these cars race, they hit sort of things, your paint doesn't crack and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so it'll flake off on the inside.
Sorry, Scott.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot of support for that kind of the hobby because like my friend who lives over there, he was getting into that sort of stuff, into RC drift kind of things, and it's like, oh, how do you paint something in reverse essentially on the inside of these car bodies, and like the guy was there at the this guy who's in a club, he was showing people his work, and he was cutting out masks by hand and then sticking them on the inside of the car body to paint.
That's next level of impressive.
Oh, it's like, dude, shouldn't you just get one of those silhouette cutters, dude? But not that I could communicate that to him, because here's the thing, like in Japan, no one speaks English. Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. Nobody at all, right? When you go to a convenience store and you have to like pay over the counter, right? They punch in like you drop your junk on the counter, they punch up like how much it is, and it shows on the screen, and then you basically take out your card or your cash, and you just sort of look at them until they know what you're on about, right? And then they configure it for that, or you press the little touchscreen, right? And then they start talking to you in Japanese, and I've got no idea what they're saying, but I usually assume that it's going to be either, do you want me to heat this up? Because they do that, they'll heat up, like the lunch boxes and stuff like that, right? Yep. Or it'll be like, do you want a bag for this? Yeah. And you just say, hi to anything that they say, right? Because even if they give you a bag and you don't want it, you can just throw that thing in the garbage on the way out, right? That's basically how it works. And to be honest, like, I felt so bad, having so little.
Thought that you would have at least learned a lick of Japanese to take.
Well, I know enough to get through that.
Okay.
Because it only requires 2 words: hi and arigatou gozaimasu, right? So. That's all I needed to know, really. But it makes you feel guilty because, people will speak to you
getting
so
getting
the thing about
Japan with 2 phrases.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the hotels will have staff that can speak enough English to get you by, and even then, most of the hotels will just have really interesting things. So, when you go in a lot of hotels, they can be set up so there's staffless. As far as check in and check out, so they'll have a big touchscreen counter type thing. And you just drop your passport in the thing,
right,
where it scans it, and then you basically enter your details on a big touchscreen where it's got all the keyboard type thing on it, right? And that's it. And then it spits out a card with has your information, your and a little receipt thing that tells you where your room is. And it's got the Wi-Fi password printed on it, and that's it. And you don't really have to interact with anybody. And when you check out, you don't even have to talk to anyone. You just drop your card in a little box, and that's it.
Sayonara.
You just walk out.
Yeah, sayonara. See, I know some Japanese words.
Yeah.
Asahi.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a beer.
But to give you an idea, there's enough little tiny ramen shops and things like that, where the staff will panic upon you, who's clearly not Japanese,
walking
in the door, not I don't know how to communicate with this customer, that kind of.
Yeah, but with Google Translate and all that, man, it's going to be much easier.
Yeah, good luck, trying to communicate via Google Translate when there's 3 people behind you in a queue.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair call. What about, so back to the show, the manufacturers. Tell us about the manufacturers.
So, as we all know, Tamiya's display was fairly
It was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was there, and they had the rally car there that they made a RC car off, and they had a bike there that goes with their bike model.
No big earth-shattering announcements.
No. And there's a lot of crowd around there, so you sort of looked over the shoulder, people like, yeah, well, that's not something I'm interested in, and just kept on walking.
Well, in Japan, that'd be quite easy, being your height. You just look over the top of everyone.
They're surprisingly tall in Japan.
Oh, they are they?
They are, yes.
Yeah,
shows how much I know.
And it's not, and I'm only 6 foot. I'm not 6'4", right? I've got a real bird's eye view. Yeah. Right. You wouldn't want to be. I'll tell you what, because there's some low ceilings in that country.
Yeah.
Especially doorways.
Yes.
And then they had all the other stands like Oshima. They had I don't know, any kind of Japanese brand that
Could you buy directly from them? Were they selling or just displaying?
You mean Tamiya? Yes.
Yeah.
Tamiya, okay. Yes. Some of them were sort of display, some of them were not. It really depended on who you were talking to.
Yep.
It's not like you couldn't have bought a bunch of stuff and taken it home, but I tell you what, you wouldn't want to walk 1.4 kilometers carrying a whole bunch of stuff.
No.
Right?
That's not far. Come on, man.
In the rain.
Well,
and you're holding an umbrella at the same time, because his mic, because the classic Aussie thing is you walk around in the rain without an umbrella on, right?
Exactly.
Because you're I don't need to wear it. I don't need an umbrella. I'll just get wet. I tell you what, that lasts all of a minute, and then you realize, no, this isn't the kind of rain I can shrug off. I need to go buy an umbrella.
So tell me, did you go to a Tamiya place?
No, I didn't. But you know, I mean, I figure like it was just a showroom for the most part. It's not like, see, I'm very. There's a lot of things you can see, but it's like, okay, well, I don't need to. I'm at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. I've seen good painted Tamiya kits. I don't need to go see badly painted ones, right?
Yeah, but still, it's a Tamiya shop. I mean, or you think that, yeah.
Yeah, but I also went to like the Tamiya Plan Model Factory, which is their retail store that only sells their stuff.
All right.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
And like the whole thing is like the ground floor is all model kits. The basement floor is all RC type stuff.
Yep.
And then the upper floor is actually tracks and workshops and things like that for the track racing type stuff.
All right.
Cool.
So they sell the whole experience basically, except for like building and painting models.
Right.
It's a bit, it's a bit.
You're going to write up a travel guide for people who want to go to Japan?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's enough of those. Are you kidding me? There's so many of them. Look, like the best I could tell you is like,
well, okay, research to organise where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, as far as like advice for people who are in the hobby and want to go over there, it's like, okay, well, it's like the Shizuoka Hobby Show is a big show, but at the same time, it's not like going to US Nationals where you can talk to everybody.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And fill up a whole like 3 days just talking to people.
Yeah.
For hours and grabbing lunch with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At the Shizuoka Hobby Show, you can't really
You're
do
isolated,
that.
man.
Unless you agree to meet up with other people who are going, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. You're isolated, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're in your little island of English against in the sea of Japan.
Yeah, I mean, don't
Or
get me wrong.
Japanese.
There are some people there who can speak English, but they're there to do business.
They're
right?
there, and they're there to do. They don't want this. What's the Japanese term for a foreigner?
Gaijin.
Gaijin. Yeah, they don't. They don't spend the whole day talking to a gaijin,
I suppose not.
especially one looking like you.
Sure.
Nice. Nice. Very nice.
Wow, look at him. He's gone a whole month without hanging anything, anything on me. So
Whole month.
I've been hanging out. Anyway, all right. So on to Korea. Did you notice much of a difference between the modelling scene in Japan and Korea?
well, I didn't get to see much of Korea. I was only there for like 3-4 days.
Yeah, but
Not
3 or
even.
4 days, long enough to get into a model shop, though.
Yes, I did go to to one hobby shop. I went to Neighbor Hobby, right, which wasn't a bad place. Kind of weird in that it was in the basement of like an office building.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Really impressive selection of paints. So they had like every paint rack you can think of.
There was a wall of paints.
Yeah, wall of paint there, and all the plant like. It was very interesting that like it's everything was so orderly. All the aisles were perfectly straight. All the stacks were perfectly aligned.
Yeah.
Really orderly and straight and narrow, and you go in there and it feels clean, like so clean, like perfect, and it's almost like you walk through it and you're like, this place looks like it was designed in CAD,
Wow.
That's what it looks like. It looks like one of them sort of like, oh, this is what our showroom will look like once we've constructed it, kind of architectural 3D model things,
And what was there? Is there a range of models sort of similar to what you find in Japanese shops, or is there a more heavy emphasis on something else? Or
Yeah, well, you would think that, it's Korea, so they'll have lots of Academy. And they had some Academy there, but it's not like they didn't have everyone else's either.
right?
Yeah.
And was it like a heavy focus on, say, Gundam, or was it equal sort of with military modelling and car modelling and?
Yeah, well, it was pretty well rounded. I mean, the only thing you didn't really see there was the Warhammer type,
The Games Workshop stuff.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole bunch of like resin figure type stuff either, really.
Considering Korea is known for some of their really good artists.
Well, funnily enough, there was like a hobby club. That really good sculptor and painter of like busts from Korea.
Mm-hmm.
He had his there's a model club that takes after his name, and they were at the Shizuoka Hobby Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they actually had his work there on display that you could look at.
Oh, that would have been impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool, yeah. It's just another hobby shop. And like once you've been to one hobby shop, you've kind of seen a lot of them,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah, they're pretty universal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's true. But it's Funny for me, going to hobby shops is kind of like at the back of your mind, you're thinking, I might find that one nugget that nobody else has discovered yet of this particular kit or something. You know what I mean? Like something that's sort of stashed away.
Yeah, but see, like a lot of these places, everything's brand new on the shelves. Everything's brand new. You're not going to find something that's old and like forgotten and sort of overlooked. There was one model shop store that I went to in Akihabara, and I forgot what that was called. It's got that blue label. I forgot what it's called. Starts with an S. Anyway, they had like all the second hands. That's the place where I bought the Tamiya kit that's out of production.
Okay.
And they had lots of other stuff there that was sort of like rare and hard to find. Like a lot of like the I think I sent you a few photos of some of the stuff, and it was like all the Mad Max car kits, the ones that you can't find
anymore. Yes,
yeah, because like it's easy to find the one that has the 2 tanks in the back,
which
and everyone
is what I've got. Yeah,
and everyone tries to convert it to the other one. Well, they had the other
the
one,
original
there.
one, yeah,
and they had it inside a glass cabinet too, so they know what it is. Yes.
The best photos I got from Julian was when he went to the Godzilla store.
Yeah. So I went. Ian wanted me to pick up some Godzilla
related thing.
stuff, as a souvenir.
Yeah.
So there was a dedicated Godzilla store with all kinds of. I was in there taking photos, like, do you want this? Do you want this kind of thing?
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, I'll buy you one of these things, but you're gonna have to pick which one it is.
Yeah.
And you opted for a T-shirt.
Yes. So I got an original, was it 65th anniversary Godzilla T-shirt. And on the back's got the poster, the original Japanese poster of the 54.
Well, I've been
Godzilla.
saying we've got to go, and it was funny. I was talking to D-Rand like a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of their guys are keen to sort of go over to Japan. So we've got to try and get a pick a date.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Head
Yeah.
over there.
I also went to the Warhammer Cafe.
Oh, you did go to that. The new one.
So tell me, is Warhammer a big thing over there or not?
I don't know necessarily, but that store is
Right.
got a lot of traffic going through it.
Yeah.
And it is a store. It's not a cafe. They call it the Warhammer Cafe
Because
but what
they
it
sell drinks.
Yeah, but basically it's just a Warhammer store, and then in the back corner they got like a lemonade stand that sells. When you look at it, you're like, oh, that's a lemonade stand. But they sell more than just they sell like a couple of drinks, and none of them are lemonade. That's the only difference, right?
So it's just a typical Warhammer store, or is this one on steroids?
Kind of. And they also, but the thing is, they also sell Forge World in store.
Oh, how do they do that?
Well, they put them in white boxes, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not doing like box art. So you look at them, and you're like, I can read what it is, what's in that. I just don't know what that is, and you have to look it up on the internet, on your phone.
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise, you don't know what you're buying.
Sure.
Yes.
Did you notice the prices in the Games Workshop?
It'll be the same. I didn't pay too much attention, but it's mostly the same. It's expensive everywhere you go, and they're not really going to change much.
Yep.
I think they did have the like 2 models that are specific to Japan, or at least specific to that store. They were nothing special, so I didn't buy them.
Yep. But you went there anyway.
That's right. Yep. And funny thing was, like, the staff there, they clearly picked them to speak English, right?
Yep.
And one of them, came over and spoke to me in an Aussie accent.
Oh, seriously?
Really?
Yeah.
He picked you for an Aussie straight away.
Yeah, but like he wasn't Aussie enough, because like otherwise he would know that I wouldn't want to talk to him. Like I mean, to those who don't know, like the Aussie retail experience is, I want to look at things. And if I want to ask about something, I'll ask.
Yeah.
But don't come over and talk to me, because I want to be left alone.
Yeah, leave me alone, man. I'm just looking.
That's it.
Just kicking the tyres.
Yeah. And he came over and he's asking me, because he's like, oh, do you play? No.
No, I paint.
And I'm like, that's not a wrong answer.
So tell me, in the Games Workshop, did they have like the setups like they have in Australia with the tables there, and you can come in and paint your stuff and play at the same time?
You can, yeah. In fact, they've even got like wet palettes built into like the workshop tables.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
We're actually going to be having a Games Workshop / Warhammer episode coming up in August.
Oh, really?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, very good.
Interesting guests lined up. So
Oh, cool. It's an interesting story. So there's actually got quite a few sort of like small couch type seating in there for you to sit down and chill out, rather than, which is a surprise because like generally my impression of Japan is they don't like you sitting anywhere.
Oh, really?
It's like they've got a war against people sitting, right? I found a place in Akihabara like where I could sit down, and then like someone came out of the store and said, "You can't sit here."
Seriously?
Yeah. And that's normal. That's usually they just have signs out the front saying, "Don't sit here."
Then why have seats?
No. It'll be like the sort of like ledge on the front of like a building, right?
Oh, right. I get
That kind of thing. They don't want people like loitering or anything like that.
Because it looks slothful.
Yes.
I don't know about that. They just, I don't know. It's just another quirky Japan thing, right?
There you go.
Well, there you go.
I tell you what, you've been walking around Akihabara for a while, and you really want to find a place to sit. And
You do.
You just won't be able to find it.
Yeah.
Especially my poor old legs, hauling this big fat ass around the place. I'd want to have a seat now and again.
Yeah, you can sit on the train when you're going home.
I'd find a cafe and just sit down there and have a drink while I can reconstitute myself.
Oh, that's true. You could do that. Yeah.
Oh, the Japanese food. Oh, that would have been awesome. Love Japanese food. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for that.
See, I actually found the food in Korea to be better.
Oh, don't say that, because I love Japanese food, man.
Well, I'm sure you will. It won't change the fact that you'll like it.
There you go.
But I mean, you just sort of should have seen the stuff I was eating in Korea.
Was it hot and spicy?
No, not necessarily. Like one of the places I met up with my ex-girlfriend, kind of girlfriend, kind of thing over there, and she took me around. She was like, she brought me here, she brought me there. She was like grabbing me by the sleeve and kind of like, we need to go in here and next. And it's like, okay. One of the places we went to, right? It's like it had like this, like they have got the thing where they cook. A lot of Korean like restaurants and things will focus around the whole cook it in front of you kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And it's got the little like gas burner thing in the center of the table, and it's got they put this wide sort of, it looks like a wide shallow wok kind of thing, like one of them things in the middle of the table, and they throw a whole bunch of chicken and like stuff in there, and it's all like orange colored and really tasty, and then they put cheese on the side, and so you're eating like chicken with cheese and stuff. Oh, it was great.
Sounds like you had a good time.
It does. All right, so as we move towards the end of the show, so recommendations from you, Julian, for people who wanting to perhaps go to Japan and have a look around. What would your top recommendations
Look, I
be?
mean, like the food.
Good pair of shoes.
Yeah. Walking. Good pair of shoes, and if you're staying anywhere that has like a Japanese room, or if you're staying with friends, make them shoes that you can get off quickly.
Yeah.
If you can. The other thing is get used to the trains as soon as you can, because that's the only way to travel. Only way to travel. Don't even think about like taxis are for chumps.
Yeah.
Right. And most of your expenses will be your hotel room, and it'll be a cramped thing no matter what you do, because that's just how it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Well, if any of our listeners got any questions of Julian and his trip, you can certainly send us an email. I'm sure that Julian would be happy to answer that. It's just on the bench 64@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, guys. It's great to have you back, mate.
Got a full crew again?
Yeah, full crew again. Next week, we've got a fantastic interview coming up with a armour modeller who just does track stuff that just blows your mind. And I'm very, very excited to have him on the show. He's not widely known around the world, but he certainly will be after this, because his level of work is just absolutely sensational.
Fantastic.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Ian.
Have a great week, guys.
Julian.
Yep, see ya.
Just nice and short and sweet from you two guys. All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll be back in a fortnight. In the meantime, have a great week.